Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how to take a 5-star mortgage application over the phone. I just recently made a video how to do a 5-star home buyer consultation. Make sure you check that out as well. And here I wanted to go over how to take the application over the phone, because there are going to be cases where the home buyer or the person applying for the mortgage won't be able to come and see you in person, and you'll have to do it over Zoom, or in this case, over the phone. So here I'm going to be going over exactly what I've learned through my experience, my training, my education, my study on how to do a great over the phone mortgage application. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, number one is preparation. This is key because if you're not in your zone, if you're not, behind a computer or you have a notepad with you, it's going to be very, very hard for you to deliver a 5-star on the phone application. And that's because you really need to be in the zone, give your attention, have your attention on the client, be taking notes and so forth. And you can't do this. I mean, you can try, and sometimes when I'm super busy, I have to take an application while I'm driving or whatever. But the ideal situation is you want to be prepared with a notepad behind a desk, maybe even behind your computer, because not only does the client deserve your full attention and the best service possible, but if you get a client who really, really knows mortgages really well, maybe it's someone that has been all over the internet doing their homework, and they ask you something and you don't know, or they want a quote, or they want an exact rate on the spot, which has happened to me. Hey, Enrique, what's the rate right now? I'll hold. And they're waiting for you to get them the interest rate. And of course, if they ask you for something, it's your job to provide it, right? They ask you for a quote, give them a quote. They ask you for a rate, give them a rate, right? So it's very important that you have your tools, your focus, you have your notepad, you're prepared before you even get on the call. Very, very key. So don't neglect this point. I know sometimes we're busy, we're running all over the place. Maybe you're part-time, maybe you just got off your full-time job. But very important that you at least have your notepad. I mean, our phones today have a lot of technology and tools and resources, so maybe you don't need your computer, maybe you just need your phone and a notepad, but very important that you're prepared. And then a quick tip before we hop into step 2 is one thing that I like doing is I send a text to the client. Hey Bob, this is Enrique with blah, blah, blah lending. Here's my business card. What time are you free so I can give you a call and go over how I can help you? I always send that message because what I've seen often is I give them a call and they're busy, or they don't pick up, or they're like, hey Enrique, I'm super busy right now, I can't take your call. So I usually do that first. I send a text message or an email, hey, let me know when you're free to give you a call. If they don't respond within a couple hours or that day, then go ahead and give them a call. But this kind of gives them time to not only expect the call, but be ready for the call. All right, number 2 is going to be the introduction. So we are prepared, you have your notepad, you have your phone, whatever you gotta have to deliver the service. Hey Bob, this is Enrique with blah, blah, blah lending. I was introduced to you, or Bob the realtor, Jesse the realtor, Karen the realtor gave me your number. They told me to reach out. They told me XYZ. How can I help you? Very simple. Keep it very simple. And I love including that point of how can I help you, because this opens the gate for them to communicate with you, right? Instead of you just asking yes or no questions or being like a robot. I learned that from my manager. Hey Enrique, don't sound like a robot when you're asking questions. Make it very fluid. Communicate, right? So when I say, hey, how can I help you? That's when they open up to you and they give you all the information, right? You want them to do the talking in the beginning because you need the data in order to understand how you can help them. If they're not talking, then you can't help them because you don't know what they need. If you just show up to the doctor and you don't say anything, unless your arm is slashed off or you lost a leg, the doctor's not going to know what's going on. You need to communicate the concept, the message, what you're looking for, the solution that you're looking for. So when you ask, how can I help you? A lot of industries, do this. Hey, how can I help you? And you say blah, 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 blah. So this is where they start talking and you're going to start taking notes. Now, of course, they're not going to tell you everything. They're going to tell you what they feel they need to tell you. And then from there, based on what you know with that information, you're going to start digging deeper into their wants and their needs. So I like doing this first is the introduction, and then ask them, hey, how can I help you? And by the way, if this is the initial call and you never sent them the text that says, hey, what time are you available? And you just call them out of the blue, which sometimes you have to. Let's say you just call them out of the blue. You always want to ask, is now a good time? I always ask this question. Even when I make an appointment, is now a good time? Because not only do they need your attention, you need their attention. right? It's not communication if it's only one-sided. Communication involves two people, right? So if you want to have great communication with your client, not only do you need to be present, the client's got to be present. And oftentimes, either they're not present or you're not present, and that's where misunderstandings occur. So you always want to make sure that not only are you involved with your attention and your focus, but also the client. So you want to ask them, hey Bob, is now a good time or should I call you later? Oh no, now's a good time. Okay, perfect. Go ahead and continue. All right, step number 3 is I usually have a little questionnaire in front of me, and I'm still mastering this questionnaire. Once it's finished and I feel like it's ready, I'll share it with you guys. But some of the things included, I have it right here in front of me, are things like, hey, is this your first time applying? Right? That's a key question because let's say this is their 20th time applying. That means maybe they already own a home. That's just a key information because if it's their first time applying, that means you want to be super, super educative. I don't even know that's a word, but you want to be a teacher, a great teacher. Now, with the rest of the clients, you also want to educate, but the person who has owned 2 or 3 homes or 5 homes or 20 homes is going to need slightly less education than the person that's never owned a home. So that's why I asked the question just to kind of get an idea of where they're coming from. Hey, is this your first time applying? Another thing I asked, and I learned this from a coach or a company, is the time frame. The time frame is also very important. Hey, how soon do you want to buy? Oh, I want to buy in 10 years. Okay, that makes things a little different, right? Oh no, I want to buy tomorrow. Okay, wow, well that means you got to do things quickly. Right? You want to make sure you're able to deliver that service quickly. If they say, hey, I want to purchase in 3 years, you know it's going to be more of a game plan. So again, this is just to give you more information about what you're working with. So those are some questions. Another thing that you can ask is, hey, who's going to be on the application? Is it just going to be you? Is it going to be you and your wife? Is it going to be yourself and your child? Is it going to be yourself and your sibling? That's also a key question because, of course, you need to know about the borrowers on the application. And if you're just asking about one borrower and there's going to be 4 borrowers, then you don't have all the data, right? So you also want to ask, hey, how many people are going to be applying or how many people are going to be the mortgage? Now, these are some general questions I like to ask. Again, I am developing my questionnaire. You guys also, have your list of, maybe 5 or 7 questions that you ask in the beginning just to get a feel of the waters. If you want to take your business to the next level, check out my website. I have marketing material, tools, and resources that you guys can use to take your business to the next level. These are things that I made, you guys. ChatGPT didn't make them. Some person overseas didn't make them. I made them. They work. They're going to help your business, so make sure you check it out. I have a home buyer workshop, a home buyer booklet, a home buyer trifold. I have a refi trifold. All those things I made, they're going to take your business to the next level. So make sure you also check out my store, support. It's going to help you grow. The next step that I go over is going to be the 4 parts of the application. So this is where I go over the income, the debts, the credit, and the assets. So I go over those one by one. You want to make things simple for these guys, right? They're on the phone. They're not seeing a presentation. They don't have a book in front of them. So you need to make things extra simple to understand over the phone. So you're going to say, hey, there's 4 parts to the application. I just took an application yesterday. I did this exact same thing. Hey, there's 4 parts to the application. We're going to go over the first one, which is income. And then you want to go over income, blah, 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 blah. And then the second part is going to be the debts. Okay, go over the debts. What do the debts mean? What are the debts? How do they affect the application? What debts do they have? Ask those questions. Next up is going to be the credit score. Okay, go over the credit score, how that plays a part in the mortgage application. Ask them for their credit score if they know what it is. Of course, when you run the credit, it's not going to be the same, but still ask the questions, have the conversation. And then next up, the assets, the down payment. Talk about that, right? So those are the things you want to walk them through. That way they kind of start thinking what composes a mortgage application. You got to make things simple for the public, right? So ask them, hey, 1, income, 2, debt, 3, credit, 4, assets. And then from there, the next step is going to be to go deeper into their wants and needs. Hey, what areas are you looking for? Right? What cities? What's your max mortgage payment that you're comfortable with? Are you interested in multi-unit? So now you want to go a little bit deeper, not too deep, but just kind of have an idea as to what type of property and where the property is going to be that they're interested in buying, right? Because you as a loan officer know that there's certain county limits, right? Also, a condo is different than multi-units. A condo is different than an SFR, etc. So you kind of want to have an idea of what they're out there looking for. So you want to ask some question here about the property, where it's going to be, and so forth. And the second to last step is going to be asking them if they have any questions. Now, this is also something you want to ask throughout each one of these steps that we went over. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? Am I going too fast? If I'm going too fast, let me know, right? You always want to ask, do you have any questions? Because sometimes we get so caught up that we know the information so well and we go fast. Now, the last step is going to be, okay, I'm going to send you an email or a text with the documents that we're going to need for the mortgage application. Now, try to take as much information as possible over the phone. This way, that combined with the document, you have a full mortgage application, right? You don't want to be asking questions A, B, C, D, Y, right? Make it a conversation. That's why I like doing my over-the-phone consultations like this, right? It's very conversational, very much educative. A lot of the information is going to be on the document, right? And it's not on the document, you can always give them a call back or ask them. And you'll get better at these. As you're taking more applications, you'll get better. You'll know what questions to ask. So typically at the end, I ask for the documents. Hey, this is a list of documents that I'm going to need. I'm going to send you an email or I'm going to send you a text with the documents that you need. As soon as I get them, we'll go ahead and start completing the application, and then I'll get back to you or we'll set up another appointment to review the results. So that's how I do a 5-star consultation over the phone. It took me a long time to master this and figure out how to do it, how not to do it. Before I end this, I also want to say throughout this whole time, you want to take great notes. Notes are very critical. Have great notes. That way you have it in your CRM, stored in your CRM. And also if the agent asks, how'd it go? You have something to talk about. Hey, he said this, she said this, blah, 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 instead of, oh, I forgot, or I don't know. So you wanna make sure you're also taking notes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, make sure you check out the video that I made on a homebuyer consultation in person. That one is phenomenal. Watch that one, and in watching this one, you're gonna become a pro. And I hope the information has been helpful. I love you guys, I appreciate you guys, I want you guys to succeed. Any questions that you have, reach out to me, comment down below what you guys thought. If you like this video, leave a big thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. Appreciate you guys, be great.